Hello my friends, this is Cosmic, or Micah. It's finally done. Amicus Astra is released. It's here in full on YouTube, it's on all major streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, what have you. If you're watching this video, chances are that you're familiar with some of my music and the Amicus Astra project. If what I just said means nothing to you, I will go ahead and explain it right now. If you already know what Amicus Astra is, well if you know, you know. To this timestamp, you can go. Alright. Goodness, I feel like I've said this a million times. Amicus Astra was an electronic music project telling a story set in the future where you are traveling through space. It spans from the liftoff to the introspective return home, and it includes all the near-death experiences in between. There are 9 tracks, here's the track list, and you can listen to the whole thing on YouTube by clicking here, or if you want to support me by streaming my music, which is greatly appreciated, then click the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. And if you are heading out now to go listen to it for the first time, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy. So yeah, that was Amicus Astra. It happened. I enjoyed it. I think it was good. Now this is just an overview of each of the tracks. I'm sharing my thoughts, I'm sharing what I learned, and what I hope to do better next time. In my infinite creativity, I decided to call this the post-flight commentary. Get it? Yeah, I know you do. Whatever. This is probably my favorite track on the project. I spent the most time on this track out of all of them, and I am probably the most proud of the mixing and mastering on this one out of all of them. It feels the most professional, like closest to the quality of producing found in the references that I used for this track. I am also just so happy with the main melody. Listen, my brain doesn't let me be proud of my work all too often, but man, this melody slaps. I'm really happy with it. And then like the changed melody and the B drop, man, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the song. Honestly, I consider it a great way to kick off the EP. Listen, this song surprised me. Or its reception surprised me, at least. I was expecting this to be probably one of the least popular tracks. It is, or at least it was, my second least favorite track on this project. I just didn't consider it to be that interesting. It's vibey and it's lush, but at the end of the day, it has a very simple melody, it has very simple chords. The sound design is reasonable, but there's just not a lot going on. But when I tell you that the reception to this song is glowing, like honestly, I think it's my dad's second favorite track on this project. His favorite is Adrift. And my best friend, I think this is his favorite track. And he featured on one of the songs, and he did phenomenal. But no, Stellar Horizon of all things is like up there for him. It's very interesting. And so if you're a musician or you're a producer who happens to be listening to this, first of all, cool, hello, hi. But also the takeaway is that it doesn't have to be complicated to be good or to be well received. Right? And we understand the genre that I'm in, right? Where sometimes excess is necessary. Layering is such a big thing. You need like 5 different bass layers, 13 different chord stacks, you need 3 melody layers, you need to crunch everything together, and then you need to add effects and foley and ambience and all of that. But that's for genres and tracks with that specific purpose. Liftoff had a lot of layering for me, right? But Stellar Horizon didn't need all of that, and people still enjoyed it. So sometimes simplicity is key. One of my favorite music artists is the Lumineers. Apparently a lot of people hate the Lumineers, I don't care. I like the Lumineers, and their production style is as simple as it can be. It's just a guy and some instruments, and you put too much reverb on the vocals and you have a hit song. That's their process. So sometimes simplicity is beneficial even in electronic music. Asteroids. This was another fun one. First of all, I really enjoyed sneaking in the original sound effects from the Asteroids game. So Asteroids was an arcade game by Atari, so it was on the old arcade cabinets. You can look it up, you'll get pictures, videos, probably like 13 different remakes of the game, so you can try it. But it's the one where it's the little triangle ship and you're shooting asteroids and trying not to get blown up. So I used several sound effects from that game, the most popular and noteworthy of which is the laser sound, the firing sound. That one. So those are fun Easter eggs and kind of shaped the vibe of the song. The verses, for lack of a better word, have retro video game kind of vibes. And all of this all together, this song is really trying to capture Tokyo Machine. Now, Tokyo Machine is a beast of a music producer, and I don't pretend that this song is on that caliber, but I tried to emulate their style to the best of my ability where I am right now with my skills as a producer, a sound designer, all of that. All of that said, at the end of the day, I'm still happy with the product that I created for the most part. I like the chiptune aesthetic and the verses. I really like the drop. It has high energy. I like the variation in the second drop. At the same time, this is the first song on the project that I feel like was a missed opportunity. Now, there were a lot of things that I enjoyed about it, but I listened to this song and all I think is this is too short. The song is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Like, come on. When the drop isn't super long, this is the kind of track that you'd expect to have 3 drops, and I think 3 drops would do very well for this song. But I was giving myself a little bit of time pressure. With good reason, I wanted this project to be finished, so I didn't really feel like I had the time to create a 3rd drop, and honestly, even if I was given the assignment to make a 3rd drop now, I'm not sure exactly how I would do it. Still a fun track to make, and hopefully a fun track to listen to. System Error was one of the first tracks that I made. I made a number of these songs kind of out of order, and this was one of the first ones. I think I say it in the description of the song, but System Error was made by accident when I was trying to make Overheating, because the original idea for Overheating was that the ship was heating up and that was causing the computer to glitch out. But then I just created so much glitchy Psytrance content that was kind of disconnected from the idea of the ship overheating that I'm like, no, this has to be a song on its own, and that created System Error. This was a tricky song to do because it was essentially my first attempt at Psytrance, which for the uninitiated is the genre that goes ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da. You know, that. Okay. And I would say that it's not a typical approach to the genre of Psytrance either. I think I got the bass okay. Psytrance is a very difficult genre to mix well, to get the kick and the bass really punchy but still have the other elements there. And so the approach that I had where I created and sampled all of these glitchy sounds to have a top line melody of sorts was definitely different. I am not enough of a Psytrance enthusiast to know how well I did in the mixing department. As I said before, it's a tricky one to kind of nail down, but I think it's still an enjoyable song. And it's one of my favorite utilizations of the computer as kind of a character saying, uh-oh, let's try that again, and then the whole reverse sound. And I like the idea of the breakdown at the very end where it's like the system reboot and it sounds even more glitchy and you have the 808 there and whatever. As the numbers stand right now as I'm recording this, Adrift is one of the most popular songs. I think beat only by Slingshot. Adrift is a feel-good song. If you like Synthwave, you'll like this. I feel like I did the genre justice. The one complaint that I have about this song is I feel like I didn't do well enough for the bass. If I solo the bass, it's there, it's good, it's juicy, it's one of the classic like synthwave pluck basses. But with all of the elements together, when I'm listening on my headphones, I don't feel it quite as much. Obviously it's there, but I guess something with the EQ of the other elements, I didn't leave enough room for the bass. There's phasing issues maybe, I don't know. That's my only complaint really, but I think it's a solid melody, solid attempt. The sound selection was proper. Overall, just a solid song, maybe a bit repetitive, but I think it keeps your attention well enough for 4.5 minutes. Slingshot probably contains my favorite utilization of the computer voice. It's when the computer voice is just reading off parts of the Wikipedia page for Slingshot, which I think the proper name in the title is something like Gravity Assist, but that's not what I wanted to call it, obviously. So it's explaining what a slingshot is. And then it says something to the effect of, in other words, this is going to be crazy fast and crazy dangerous. Adjusting BPM to compensate, and then the BPM increases. I know it's not like profound, but that was just fun. And I think the drop is really solid as well. And honestly, it's just me processing a whole bunch of basses from Flex. I don't think I sound designed a single one of those basses. And talking about Asteroids, I was saying how it could have used a third drop and that probably would have elevated the song. I am unsure if the third drop in Slingshot was necessary and if it truly elevated the song. Because we have the first drop, and then we have the moment where the BPM is adjusted as said by the computer, then you have the second drop, and then there's a little bit of a breakdown moment, and then there's a third drop, and I'm not sure if that defeats the purpose or kills the momentum that is provided by the lead up and execution of the second drop. But there is a third drop there, and there is a bit of a variation, so it's not just the same thing copy and pasted from the last time. I'm not sure if it's different enough or interesting enough as a standalone drop to justify it being there. It did make it longer because I didn't want to make a whole bunch of short songs, so it did help this song reach the 3.5 minute mark. Maybe you can let me know your thoughts on it. As a listener, maybe it's less noticeable and kind of an agreeable drop to have. That's my only complaint, but possibly one of my favorite tracks, like maybe my fourth favorite, top 4. Overheating was a tricky one, but also very fun. It's the one where my man, Verisimilitude, played the guitar, did a phenomenal job, and that's there in the track, and I owe all of it to him. The guitar that he played, that he featured with, is part of what made this song so tricky though, is because I have essentially zero experience mixing guitar. I don't play myself, that's why he did it, and we also don't have proper equipment on his end or on my end. But I get the recording from him and I have to process it, and I layer it with virtual guitar that I have to use, sadly, just to beefing up the sound a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm processing it, and then I also have to process it and mix it in with the remaining elements, with the bass, with the lead, with the drums, and I essentially didn't know what I was doing. I used some YouTube tutorials, they definitely helped me out, but there was also this anxiety of making poor use of the performance that my friend gave because he did a good job and I didn't want it to go to waste or for it to fall flat. Credit also has to go to him for the entire existence of the outro section, because along with the main guitar part that plays throughout the drop, he also sent me this other progression where he said, hey, maybe this would work. And then I was able to take that. I had to chop it a little bit, but essentially this core idea of this ascending progression of power chords near the end became the outro part after the computer says, you thought it was done, that's cute, rerouting to the void, and then you hear that whole bit. That happened because of him. It wouldn't have existed if I didn't have that idea that he sent over, so that was pretty cool. Thank you, Verisimilitude. Let's collab again.
Void, 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 void.
Void is probably my least favorite song on this track, not because there's anything wrong with it, it's just the least interesting to me, or it's the least exciting, I should say. There are interesting bits of sound design. As I explained in the description of its video, I sampled whale sounds, I sampled sorting algorithms, and it was just a bit of ambient stuff to make it sound open, but also lonely and oppressive. I think I got the vibes down pretty well. It just wasn't an exciting song. The last one is Cosmic Reflection, and it is probably in my top 3 favorites. So now that I'm at the end, I can kind of say it. In no particular order, necessarily, I would say it's Liftoff, Overheating, and Cosmic Reflection. I just really like Cosmic Reflection for the melody. It's a solid melody. I like the sparkly nature of the lead that I used. I really like the bass. I really like the chill but fast-paced D&B drums. It's not in the punch-in-the-face nature that the drums in Liftoff are. It's more mellowed out, it's more vibey, it's more chill, and I think it's a nice song that you can crank in your headphones or crank in your speakers, and it doesn't have any harsh top end. It's just low, it's smooth, it's mellow, it's enjoyable, and it kind of has that bittersweet feeling that I tried to convey in that this song is you returning after your journey, and there was some good in it, there was some bad in it, you got to see the stars, and now it's time to come back home, and so this is your Cosmic Reflection. All in all, this was a very fun project to do. I have it in my head that maybe 5 years from now, when my skills are refined, I'm a better producer, I'm a better mixer, I'm a better mastering engineer. what have you. I can return to this project and create a remastered version, maybe add the drops that I said were missing. I can tighten up the production in places where I wasn't most proud of it, say for example in Overheating. But for now, I'm really happy with what I put out. While there are no promises, the next project that I will probably make is a 4-song rap EP called Characters. I'm not solidified on that name. I'm not even solidified on the amount of songs or the track list. But the idea right now, not necessarily in this order, is a re-release of Who Am I? That's a song that's on this channel. You can check it out. And then 3 songs that the internet hasn't heard yet, those being Misinformation, Icarus the Seus, and The Author. The first 2 of which I'm done writing and just have to record, and then the last of which I'm still finishing writing, and it was kind of my friend's idea, so I've been consulting with him as how that track specifically can go. That won't be coming for a while though. I'm going to try really hard to keep up with the weekly upload schedule. I will have some one-off songs that might go on to Spotify and everything because it may as well. I'm with DistroKid, which allows for unlimited uploads while paying a yearly fee, so I may as well try and get as much bang for my buck. So there will be one-off songs coming on YouTube, and I can put it on streaming as well in case anything happens. Otherwise, there's the rap EP, there will be more electronic projects, who knows what else is going to happen, we'll just have to see. This has been the post-flight commentary. Thank you so much for listening to this point. If you have stuck through this video all the way, that is amazing, unprecedented. Thank you so much. Watch time is a very valuable resource to give to creators. The fact that I could have your eyes and your ears for this duration of time is very special and is very cool. To quickly go over the other embarrassing YouTube stuff that I feel obligated to talk about, give it a thumbs up if you can, but only if you like the video. If you didn't like the video, give it a dislike, but then in the comments tell me why you didn't like it, what I can do to create better content in the future. If you don't want to hear more music from me, I might also do like album reviews. I have no idea. Something related to music, if any of that sounds interesting to you. Subscribe so you can know what happens next, or I might just pop up in your feed one day. And that's okay. Hope to see you again. If not, hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great life. Bye-bye.